Alright, hey everyone. I'm gonna get started. So, I am gonna be playing around with Unity post-processing shaders, and my goal is to make something like this CRT effect or this CRT effect. I did this one for an album cover in Photoshop, so it was kind of more laborious and manual. I had to do stuff with layers and patterns and stuff, and I want to have it like as a shader so I can do it repeatedly to different stuff and like for videos and things like that. So I have a basic shader setup. So okay, here's the shader. So right now it's doing absolutely nothing, and if I run, nothing happens. But if I invert the color, then it should. I had it doing that before. Oh yeah, it was like let me see if that works. Okay, maybe nothing is working. I had this working a couple days ago. Maybe I didn't save having the shader applied or something. CRT effect, CRT material, CRT shader. Okay, let's just try making the whole screen black then. Okay, not sure what the problem is. There's an example I had open. This is confusing because it was working the last time I opened this project. Oh, checkbox. Okay, So yeah, if I go back to inverting the colors, should work now. Okay. There we go. Oh, it keeps reversing because I do it while playing. Okay, so yeah, now we have a post-processing shader working. So I'm going to take a look at this demo for some more inspiration. I think I have it downloaded. So I'm going to try. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to look at it actually in full screen and see what I can make out about the details. Taking a while. Made with Miku. Anyway, hey Swan. Thanks for joining. Okay, I'm gonna stare close at the pixels. I think they might actually be doing something cheaper than what or just like less physically based, because I'm not actually planning to do anything really physically based. But it looks like what they're doing is just kind of a channel separation plus a grading effect. And then they have the warp and the edges. So I could be wrong. Oh, you're not late actually. I barely started because I started like 2 hours late. So it is a demo. Here it is on YouTube, but that I was actually running the executable. Yeah, it was a demo submitted to the assembly demo party a couple years back. I think it's really cool. All the visual effects are really good. And it was done in Notch, which is it's like a node-based thing for real-time graphics. So like you can use it for things like live show visuals or something. But yeah, you can do demos with it, and it's I'm guessing a lot of the stuff in that demo is like a Notch node, but maybe it's, I don't know. I'm not actually super familiar with exactly what you can do in Notch, but anyway. So yeah, it's looking like this shader, whatever it is, however many passes they're doing it in, is not quite as quite the same thing as what I'm planning to do. But there's some cool stuff. Like I really like these kind of glowy. Oh, late in your time zone, gotcha. Yeah, I'll post a video in chat. And then you can also post the Pue link, which is where you can download the actual executable and run it. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, even if you can't stay long. So yeah, there are some things about this that I want to try to replicate. Like I'm not sure how they're doing the borders and this cool kind of glowy CRT thing. But what I want to do, and what I did in this album cover, which I really like, is I made a grading pattern with RGB elements, and so I just did like a blur on the image itself, about 1 pixel. The image itself, I think I did nearest neighbor, blew it up like 5 times, and then blurred it around one of the pixels, one of the enlarged pixels. And then I did just a multiply blend with a repeating grading pattern. I don't know what you call these. CRT pattern something. Not that. CRT monitor, what are these called? Emitters. Raster pattern, right? I guess that. Anyway, there are different ones that they have, like different actual arrangements of the color elements. Probably have some pictures down here. Yeah, here we go. So shadow mask, I think, is what it's called, because they actually have a physical grading for the filtering where the rays end up. So I could do different stuff, and it would pretty much work if I have like an image blurred to about one of these pixels with multiply blend mode. So basically the green stuff in the image comes through where the green elements are. I'm trying to remember what I did for this one. I think what I did was this one on the right here, or this one, because I think there are more greens than blues or reds, which makes sense and is the same thing they do in camera sensors, because green is more important to luminance for the human eye. So yeah, basically what I want to do is I'm gonna start without actually doing any processing of the picture and just generating one of these. What I want to do is make a procedural pattern like this, and then I can just multiply it with the scene, but I also want to do another blur pass. So I'm going to figure that out after, but for now I'm just going to try to do like a nice anti-aliased shadow mask pattern. So I'll probably do, I can't remember how I did it, but you can chop this into a repeating cell pretty easily, like a repeating rectangular cell. So I can do that in my shader and treat that as kind of a virtual texture that's tiled over the screen. And then to kind of maybe to counteract, because this one, as you shrink it down, the CRT effect kind of goes away, and at medium level zooms it gets just like kind of moire-y, which in a way that I don't love. So I think what I want to do is, like in this, have that warp so that the grid is not exactly pixel aligned. I'm going to take a look at the grading thing again. It's a lot harder to see on this video than in the full res demo, but it's interesting though. I kind of thought they had done. Hey Sint, thanks for joining. Yeah, I thought they were doing what I'm doing, which is color channel separation and grading patterns, shadow mask patterns in the same step, but I think they're doing them separately. Okay, so what I need to do is I'm going to start by just doing a repeated, like a domain repetition circle. Okay, first I'm just going to draw a circle. So do I have? Yeah, so I have my position UV. I'm assuming that's 0 to 1 on the screen. So I'm just going to try doing, not even sampling the texture at all, doing and then for the brightness, I'm going to do what is the length function in HLSL? Is it just length? Yeah. Okay. And that gives me, doesn't even give me bonus data, just gives me shit. Oh, I is not a, that makes more sense. What is vertex then? Okay, here we go. That's my position on the screen. Yeah, I guess vertex is going to be in clip space, from -1 to 1, and UV is going to be from 0 to 1. Okay, so UV is a flip too, so distance from the center of the screen, and then if we minus 0.5, then it should be, oh yeah, outside the length. There we go. So now we have like a circle. And then what we want to do is just do kind of a, so this is a, we have assigned distance field now. And we want to have a smooth step thing from 0 to 1 across. See, we need to get the screen space derivatives. Forgot what the syntax is for HLSL. DDX, okay. So DDX I.UV. No, I think what I want to do is DDX brightness. Yeah, so is there F width? They do have F width. Okay. What I'm going to do, length of a two-dimensional vector made of the two guys. Let's see if that compiles. It does not. I misspelled length. Okay. So let's take, this is going to be our, I'm going to call it F for our assigned distance field. And then divided by length, so it is approximately normalized by distance. And then that will mean it's 0 at the boundary, and we want it to be 0.5 at the boundary. And so yeah, we just do 0.5 plus clamp. Actually, I want to use smooth step. Okay, so I can just call smooth step negative 0.5, 0.5 There we go. Yeah, here is our anti-aliased circle. Do I have like the screen resolution as a uniform? So that would be nice. Is there just an HLSL thing for getting the pixel as opposed to the... Well, yeah, the frag chord is normalized anyway, so... Oh no, it's in pixels, right? Yeah. SV position. Okay, so maybe I can use SV position, although it might not work the exact way I want it to. Can you get the size of a texture? So that'd be nice. Oh, it's a method on the texture thing. Does this work? Sampler does not. So I have a sampler, but I don't have a texture. Oh, Unity has like a... Let's try that then. Okay, well, I'll see if it works when I need it. So I have a, oh yeah, I'm trying to make this circle be in pixels instead of in like it's the shape of the screen. So it should have 1 over width, 1 over height. ZW should be my width and height. There we go. Yeah, so it's now I have, starting at the bottom left, I have pixel coordinates in the screen. So I have a 100 radius circle at 100, 100. So now I can do like the CRT circles in pixels. So yeah, let me try to do domain repetition for this circle. So is it fract? Frac, okay. Yeah, so now I'm repeating every 100 pixel tile. Let me make this be a 50 radius circle. Yeah, there we go. And for, I want to use, I need this, it's not getting anti-alias properly at these overlaps because it's only looking at the nearest circle instead of the 2 nearest circles. So I think I just need to have, if I just draw like 5 circles instead. So let me make a function here for drawing a circle. So float radius. I make position be the last argument. So length of position minus center, distance from the center of the circle, minus radius, and then Then we divide it by its screen space length. And do smooth step. Yeah, I should just copy this. Okay, so still compiling. Let's replace this with the function. Circle position is px. No, the center is going to be 50. The radius is 50, and the position is px. Still works. Okay, so now we can do let's draw. I'm gonna do these additively. I actually don't know if this is necessary because to do the overlapping circles because I think that only one circle of any given color is going to be touching any given pixel, and I'm drawing all three anyway. So that's okay. Let me just get these edges to look better, and then so float brightness. Oh, I have this backwards because my brightness is, yeah, so brightness equals 0. There we go. So now let me do 4 more for above, below. Oh, my dog's barking.
Let's take a nap, okay? Take a nap. Good boy. Good boy.
He's angry. Oh, bud.
Buddy. It's okay. It's okay, bud. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I didn't move them far enough. That's the problem. Okay, so that has no effect. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of a waste of time, but at least I have a reusable circle thing. Let's slightly decrease this to like 49. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So I have a sign distance field circle. And now let me make them tinier. So rather than every 100 pixels, let's do every like 5 pixels. And then let's make this be 2.5. Maybe smaller. Okay, so now we just need to make them be 3 different colors, and in the shadow mask pattern for the CRT. So the shadow mask pattern looks like this. So if I draw green, blue, hexagonal. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do like this. But just like when you're talking about crystal lattices, you can like fit that into a repeating cube, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, the green repeats. If you capture a triangle of greens, then that's a repeating square. So yeah, basically you have 3 green dots with blue, red, blue, blue. Let me take a little. So this is repeating, I think. Oh yeah, you need to have 4 tall for it to be repeating. Wait, you can just be this. Yeah, I think this is enough to get all of it. Because as you... Maybe not. Yeah, okay, halfway through the blue, this repeats. So you have 2 rows, you have 2 greens, 2 reds, 2 blues in them. So actually I think I was wrong before about the green being higher frequency. Okay, yeah, so it's just alternating staggered rows of RGB. So you just need to capture 2 rows at offsets. 0.5 offset from each other. Okay. Trying to think, so how do I do it on here? Photography filter, yeah, Bayer filter. I was thinking that they might have done that too with TVs, but okay, so basically I have a circle and I need to draw 6 of them, actually 7 because of the the split blue. So my domain is going to be it's going to be twice as wide as it is tall. So let's make it 12 wide and 6 tall maybe? That might be too big, but okay, yeah, so there we go. Oh yeah, it's 3 by 2. Okay, so let's do, we could do 6 by 4, or we could do 9 by 6. Let's do 9 by 6. Okay, so we have a 9 by 6 grid. So that means we have 3 pixels for each of the elements. So instead of having a brightness, we're going to do additive blending with colored circles. So it'll be oh, we can just, yeah, do individually add to the channels. So R plus equals our first circle. Make the image bigger or make the text bigger? Okay, it's bigger for now. So yeah, I can just like zoom it in like that and then zoom back out. Yeah, I'll zoom it in as I'm doing more on it though. Okay, so we have so the red should be at 1.5, 1.5. With a radius of, let's say 1.0 for now. And then we have 2 B's at the end, so that's 7 elements, 1.5, 4.5, and then 7.5. And then on the bottom row, it's going to be 0, well, the red is going to be at 2, right? No, it's going to be at 3.0, yeah. 6, 9, and then let's put this blue here at 0. And then the second row needs to be at 4.5. Okay, so let me make it bigger so that I can even tell if it's right. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm making the grid smaller. I also need to make the actual pattern itself bigger, so let me just do this. There we go, nice. Okay, so I think I have something off about this. Yeah, we have RGB and then the R should be offset by 2. Yeah, let me just make it G, B, R, and then it's BRGB on the bottom. There we go, so that's right. Yeah, it looks pretty cool at this size. So now let me shrink the scale down. It'd be cool to have scale as a slider in Unity, but okay, scale it down. Something funky at the domain boundaries for some reason. It's making it not right. Maybe I do have to do that thing I was talking about by drawing 2 copies of it. Okay, this definitely looks right. The placement of the actual physical color elements is like messing me up though. But yeah, I don't think there are any problems here. I need to figure that out though. Why is that happening? These seams. It's really weird. Yeah, I can't think of why that would be happening. I guess maybe there's some rounding thing. Oh, and the derivatives, that's a good point. Actually, yeah, you're definitely right about that. It's because the derivatives are straddling, the pixel quad is straddling 2 cells. So yeah, somehow I need to have sure this is a common like problem in that people hit with shader toy SDF stuff. Let me think. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a solution. It works if, basically, if the cells line up to 2 by 2 pixel boundaries. Okay, so if 2 pixels have coordinates which are on either side of the cell boundary, maybe I can have kind of like staggered overlapping cells. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so rather than having the screen divided into disjoint cells, I'm going to have it divided into... That doesn't solve the derivatives problem. What I can do is just use the derivatives of the screen coordinates themselves and then manually thread the derivative through of this stuff, probably. No, it's also the red and green, and it's happening on the borders. Let me enlarge it and see if I can get it to happen at like 30 scale. Yeah, well now it's not gonna happen unless I can get like part of a circle to draw. Yeah, there we go. So you can see the red and green right here are also having seams. And the problem is, like you said, the discontinuity in the derivatives. So basically I can't use domain repetition and screen space derivatives on directly on the distance values, but I can basically auto-differentiate this thing, by hand, auto-differentiate by hand. And then well, the thing is, the derivative can't, if you set the derivative to 0, it just doesn't anti-alias. And I want it to anti-alias, it just has to be different anti-aliasing on either side, which means you can only use, so this is actually what I do in gouache. In gouache, I don't use screen space derivatives at the point of actual anti-aliasing calculation. I use them once at the beginning of the shader to find pixel size, and then I do my own derivatives later in the shader, because 2 pixels can be in a quad and be can be in divergent parts of a for loop. So like it's a much worse situation, but it's basically the same thing. Basically divergence within a 2 by 2 pixel quad means that you can't use derivatives within it. I'm thinking I might not even need derivatives at all, since I have the screen pixel sizes from this. Like px is known to be in like pixel units, so I don't actually need to use screen space derivatives at all. I can just do, like, let me try commenting out the length thing. Yeah, okay, I comment out the length because it's already in unit pixel distance units. And if I turn on scale, it should just work. So this wouldn't work if I weren't normalizing my like distance function properly. But yeah, that's really funny. I just delete this divide, which was always dividing by 1, except at the parts where it was incorrect. Okay. I may want just like a softer fall off than a single pixel. So that means I can just make this like, scale it back up. Yeah, I think that's looking nicer. So let's make it even longer though. .5 fall off in either direction. That should be nice. And then let's shrink it down teeny tiny. Is it stretched? Maybe I can run it full screen or something. Oh, I need to do more overlap repetition stuff because there are some little seams where I'm not. So yeah, I need to do like a whole nother. Well, I don't want them to be kissing necessarily because like see these are not kissing at all. Like it effectively just changes the brightness at a small enough zoom. Anyway, here you can clearly see that I have seams because I'm not adding the guys on the boundary. So I have to add a whole boundary. What do you mean about a hex grid? The angles, the lines look right to me of the grid at least. Like this looks totally correct to me. What is wrong about it? Okay, let me look back at this then. So you just mean I should make the rows separated by a different amount than a unit of 1. It should be a unit of. So I should basically scale this vertically by like, it should be 1 over square root of 2, I think. Yeah. Root 3 over 2, yeah. Because it's 1/2 over root 3 over 2, yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't think it necessarily has to be that anyway. But I'll try. I'll do it. So I should extract these all into more variables. Okay, so this should actually be So the width should be 1.0 and the height should be root 3 over 2. So that's our cell, and then the grid should be scale times, so it's basically this times cell. Okay, just use the mouse. Square root 3 over 2 is 0.86. Okay, that makes sense. And then these should be in grid units. So there we go. Okay, that's what you wanted it. They are packed slightly closer on the rows. The reason this is kind of annoying now is because it won't have like a direct mapping to the image itself, but I think that's fine. It's just like there can't be an integer number of pixels mapped onto a cell anymore. So it'll just be kind of like an overlay mapped onto the image. But that's okay, really, because I'm planning to blur the image before multiplying with it anyway. So, actually, I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna take my color of the screen at a given position and multiply it with. There we go. Yeah, well, it's a CRT pixel pattern. Yeah. So let me shrink the scale of the pattern. Yeah, this is pretty satisfying. And then as we make it tinier, it just approaches ground truth with nasty moire effects. Wait, actually, I can correct those effects by just having that extra layer I was talking about. Yeah, I need to do that to fix those seams. Okay, so basically I'm drawing all of these 7, but I need to add another row above and below and another column to the left and right. So the pattern is just, I can make a function for a row. Yeah, I'm fine with it not being actual pixels because like really it's just a way to discretize a continuous image function onto the screen, and like is what you can think of it as, really. And with analog TV broadcasting, that's basically how it worked, right? Like they didn't actually have discrete horizontal pixels, although they did have discrete vertical pixels, and that it'll be exactly the opposite here. Although I could just scale this up by a factor of 2 over root 3 and then it would switch back. It's just they can't both be integers is the thing. But that's fine. So let me just copy paste these a bunch. So let's make it have negative x. Let's separate the 2 rows also. So first row will be RGBRG. 7.5 over 2. 10.5. And then now this bottom row is going to have an extra R on either side. G, R, G, B, R, G. Okay, I'll have a G at the beginning and an R at the end. Yeah, okay. So this one will be at negative 3.0, and then GBR, GBR. This last one will be 12.0. Okay. So we have our 2 rows, and now I'm going to duplicate this row, but make it be at negative 1.5y. And then duplicate this row and make it be at oops. .5y. Okay, that I made some mistake here. One of the reds is in the wrong place. Oh, this should be negative 1.5, not 0. There, we fixed it. Okay, and this should scale down nicer and not have the seams problem. I think it'll still moire, like there's not really any getting around that, but I think it looks pretty nice though. So yeah, I think what I want to do is have a blur pass before this. Unity might just have a pre-made blur I can grab, or I might have to write one. I'm curious if I can see the FPS here. Man, this is so much easier than doing this. Doing this in Rust with no game engine stuff. I open this and I can see my GPU time is render thread 0.2 milliseconds, which nothing to worry about for now. There's probably a way to, like, honestly, if I were doing this in an actual game, I would probably replace this all with a texture, because this is getting to be a lot of ALU at this point, whereas it could just be a single texture sample for no matter what. But yeah, for now this is fine, and it's like analytics, so it scales up indefinitely with no problems. Yeah, the blur is what I did to get like kind of this bloomy, like the way that these blacks like bleed around the borders of the letters. For bloom, people usually have like multiple layers of blurring, like a hierarchical blur. So I could see if I know Unity has bloom somewhere. I don't know if it's in this render pipeline that I'm using or if I need to use the like something else render pipeline. I would assume it'd be in effects, maybe like lens flare. I don't know. Also, another thing is that this is not constant brightness. So I could like normalize by the area of the elements. That's pretty close. Okay, yeah, I want to do a blur pass before this. So not motion blur. Why is everything a video? And why does everything hijack your browser history so you can't escape? Anyway. Post-processing Sanko V2. Am I using that or something? Okay, it's compatible with a built-in render pipeline. But I need, okay, I can just install some package and I'll probably have it. Post-processing. Filter for scope. Post-processing, there we go. Install. Hey guys. Thanks for joining. I got my CRT shader mostly working. Okay. That's where I was. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I actually don't know. I think that it's not HDR. But it could be without me knowing. But Unity has a HDR render pipeline that I'm not using. So, you know what? Maybe I should have the greens scaled down a little bit because they're corresponding. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with just like doing my own tone map or something, though. To counteract that. Okay, this is cool how it actually kind of changes the hue. Okay, yeah, I probably actually will do my own like. What is the Reinhardt operator again? 1 over 1 plus thing over 1 plus thing. Every stream I do somehow comes back to gamut mapping and desaturating to white. Someday I'll have a good solution to that. But you know what? Actually, there might be something in the post-processing thing. Okay, let me look at if there are any new cool components from the post-processing. Getting started. Post-process layer. Rendering. Post-process layer. Here we go. To the main camera. Makes sense. Oh, they have TA. Cool, let me see how that looks. Man, TA just, it always has these like weird ghosty effects that I just hate. Like, the nice parts of it look really nice. Well, yeah, okay, so the thing is, I'm doing the CRT all in float internally in the shader. Like, I mean, okay, I guess you're right that the bloom pass should go through. Okay, actually, you know what? I don't even need to set up a separate pass yet because I can do it all in float in the most inefficient way possible by just doing a Gaussian blur, purely gather on the texture in the shader right here. And I would not do that in a game because it'd be really slow. But for this, I'm just doing this for an effect. Like I'm doing this for some image work that I want to do eventually. So it doesn't actually matter how fast it is. Bloom, let me see. Component effects. I don't know how you add bloom. Oh, there should be an add effect button. I don't see it. Oh, it needs to be a volume rather than a layer, apparently. No, it's just not coming up. Wait, you need a post-processing profile. Okay, there we go. Add component. No, it's add effect. Bloom. Okay, this is one of the most confusing on-off buttons. Oh, hey, Lewis. Thanks for joining. Let me turn back on my CRT effect, yay. I don't actually know how well it shows up at this scale on the stream. Let me look at my stream and see. Didn't realize that this would be difficult. Okay. Yeah, you can see it. Okay. So bloom isn't doing anything for some reason. Maybe I need to like just crank up my light or something. Did it really not save my adding a component? Okay, yeah, it didn't save it because I did it while it was running. Okay, maybe I can turn HDR on. Project settings, graphics. Okay, so yeah, I should actually be using HDR in every tier using 16 floating point. So it is already HDR, looks like. Let me try adding post-process volume again. Oh, you add a new game object, and then add a post-process volume to that. Bloom is grayed out. That's the only one that's grayed out for some reason. Okay. Maybe I need both a volume and a layer? Oh yeah, I need both. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, now let's try cranking up the light. No bloom. See if I can get any other effects to trigger. That's working. Chromatic aberration is working. Okay, so I at least can do effects at all. But motion blur's not working. Vignette's working. There we go, that's bloom. Okay. Got it. Okay, thank you. I don't know what I changed, but it's working now. Nice. It is definitely clipping in my CRT effect. Maybe I can make it an actual post-process effect instead of the component like it is. Anyway, I'm probably going to do the blur myself, but good to know that I can get this working at least. Yeah, I actually don't know what tone mapping it is. I think they have this profile should be tone mapping. Yeah, I don't actually know where you specify tone mapping in Unity. Image effects, which I guess is different from post-processing effects. And there is also a package to install. No, I've actually been asked, I think, 0 times. So it wouldn't be annoying at all to answer. Basically, Rust is still my serious language for shipping anything. Basically, I just got tired of kind of the fiddling with details when I wanted to play with the graphics idea. I wanted to get quick results on prototype stuff. So Unity's a much better environment for that because it's less error prone than writing raw GL code. Stuff is built in For instance, if I want to know how many milliseconds I'm hitting on the render stuff, then I can just open this up and see it's 0.2 milliseconds. And it's got hot reloading for both the shaders and the C#. So, and I can just place things in the editor, all of which is when I just want to throw something in there, it's way easier than doing it via code. So I just wanted something lower maintenance for like playing with ideas. I'm not like switching to Unity from Rust in my life in general. Although at this point I would maybe consider making a game in Unity. Not totally sure about that. But I also want to continue using Unity for like, I don't know, little graphics, like motion graphics, video type of experiments and stuff. And one more reason was that I just wanted to learn Unity because I have some plans for some Unity plugins I want to develop. I also want to do Unreal plugins and I want to ship them as like libraries you can use outside of either, but I think it's a good market for shipping plugins because if you can make something like really just plug and play to somebody's project, and so I think that's a good strategy. So I haven't really like used Unity for real until on this stream and last week's stream. So this was like an opportunity for me to get familiar with the basics of how the engine works so that I can eventually work on that. Yeah. So yeah, that's my rationale. I still primarily use Rust for, like, for instance, for audio plugins. You can't use Unity in any meaningful way. But yeah, I follow this guy. His stuff is really cool. Does he use Unity? Okay. CRT effect on. So yeah, let me do just like a ultra slow. Hey, now it's clipping. Maybe I just need to take this 3.0 off. It's still doing weird clipping, I think. Oh, probably because of the light. Yeah, let me turn the light back down. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I do need to figure out tone mapping, I guess. But it is all in float in the frame buffer. So there's no hard reason why I can't. Okay, so let me just hack up a nasty blur. So if I do just like a Gaussian blur when I'm sampling from the image. Oculus Rift Dev Kit 1 Simulator. Oh, just like the way the screen looked to put on. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. So for a Gaussian blur, I need to do a square around the pixel, sample everything in the square, and multiply it by x of negative radius squared. Okay, so let me just do a box blur for now, just to get it working, and then well, you have to understand this is about laziness. Like, if I wanted to do a separable multiple pass blur, I would have to figure out like how to write multiple of these and chain them together, which I do intend to figure out. But this is like slightly less effort overall. So yeah, I guess I will find that out very soon. Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense why the big O is just nasty. Okay, I need to fix my coordinates somehow. Yeah, I can just use this. There we go. I'm gonna get this compiling again. What am I missing? Yeah, I was thinking about doing that too actually, the like using the texture units to do the filtering for me to like slightly speed it up. What am I missing? Does this not like my 4int thing or? Oh, yeah, duh. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I'm probably not doing a very large blur on this one. And I mean, the look of this comes from like a low res image scaled up, so it's like a, but it is like a decently high radius blur on the scaled up image. It does give you shader compiler errors. I was just being really stupid. It was saying unexpected and bracket, and I was just not looking at the exact place where the error was. So, oh, thank you. It's probably like visually the one of the thing I'm most proud of that I've done. I need to do more visual art because it's like one of the only things that I've done, but yeah, pretty proud of it though. That's the only based way to write shader code. That's recommended best practices. Okay, so let me do my blur. Okay, let's see if that worked for my box blur. Oh, I'm not even offsetting it, so. There we go, box blur. Let me check my GPU time. Render thread is still 0.2 ms, so like this is imperceptible right now. Like, yeah, APL or in general an array language for fragment shaders would be cool. My dream, and I think I've mentioned this before, is to make kind of like an embeddable scripting language that would get used for things like Houdini Vex or like RenderMan shaders, or other things like that. That is like a, but it's like reusable just from any C program. That is an array language that just like handles vectorization and SIMD and parallelization on different cores and stuff. And APL, like I would probably wouldn't go full APL, but like just array language features would be, I think, really cool to use in that context. So this seems to be working. I don't actually know if I trust render thread now. I think this is just the GPU time, the CPU time for the render thread, because my fans are definitely kicking up. So this is definitely a lot slower. It looks cool though. The box blur fall off does look cool. But let me try doing Okay, so here's my Gaussian blur. Fans are kicking up healthily. Let me see what 100 looks like. Okay, now I'm actually dropping frames. Actually hanging things, so cannot do 100. Okay, that's actually dropping frames, I think, at 20 radius. Yeah, you can visibly see the cube slow down. Yeah, this is kind of what I wanted, so. Pretty happy with this. I think, need to kind of bloom it some more, and then let me see if I can just do like a lazy Reinhardt Tone Map right now. I did not know there was an Operation Reinhardt. Guess it's an unpleasant name collision. Okay, so here is my tone mapping. It's still clipping, which I guess is to be expected once you tone map it too hard. Okay, I think I've kind of done what I set out to do. I did want to try the warping thing, like in the demo, this like screen warping thing, and I think it wouldn't be too hard to do these edges just with like a box blur thing on the edges.
Check it.
Oh, is it loud? It's pretty quiet to me, but I guess the mic picked it up. Okay, that's maybe a bit much on the blur. This looks pretty cool. I should probably run some cooler stuff through it. I'm going to change the background color at least. Okay, I'm trying to think how to do a nice simple warping function like they do in the demo. It's just like bulged out in the middle and then like okay, yeah, let me try that. Okay. Something's wrong. Oh, that was probably just the fan kicking up ambience wise. Okay, not sure why that's happening. Oh, I need to be doing this too. Okay, so I'm not apparently using this for the actual texture. Okay, so let me just turn that down a lot. I mean, that's... Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, that works. I want to bias this to be wider on the X dimension, so... Oh, yeah, that's too much. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this for now. Okay, chat's a little cursed at the moment. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let me turn up the scale a bit. Man, I really like how this is turning out. I think this is really good. The one thing I need to do is just get a better tone mapping and get some nice glare and bloom stuff going. But I'll have to get some kind of cool scene first before I do that. Okay, where is my light actually? I want to try doing a point light. I guess it's on the wrong side or something. There we go. So now if I oh yeah, that's a good idea. All right, I'm calling the variable bulge. Forced to unroll loop, but unrolling failed. I guess because it made the radius too big. 1024 iterations. Okay. So yeah, bulge is too big. It's simply bulging too much. Okay, so at the edge of the screen, bulge will be basically 1.25. So yeah, why is that? Maybe I just need to cast this to an int then. There we go. So now I can do this. Okay, it's still. Why is it still doing that? I wish I had a debugger and I could see what actual values bulge has, but like. So UV goes from 0 to 1, subtract it from 0.5 to 0.5, and now this length is never longer than like square root of 2. No, actually, yeah, I'm not totally sure. I mean, I am feeding it. Okay, maybe it is because radius isn't constant. That probably is what it is. Okay. That's actually really depressing. And I'm sure that there's some way to get it because I know you can write variable length loops in D3D. I know you can do it. Like you obviously can. Oh, it's because of the gradient instruction, apparently. But, like, did I use a gradient instruction? It's because I'm doing text2D instead of texel fetch. So, yeah. Okay, good news, everyone. D3D does let you do variable length loops. It just doesn't let you do gradient instructions in them, which makes sense. So I need to just do texel fetch here, which I had that the other day. Like, it's where you just index it like an array. I don't know if you can do that on a sampler 2D. Okay, so let's get this working with texel fetch. Yeah, I think the answer is it's undefined behavior and different cursed things will happen on different drivers. Because really it's just up to, if you're in a variable length loop, the loops can diverge within a quad. And so if you are masking out the execution of like one of the guys in the quad, for the variable length loop, or in the case where you somehow have the capability to not even execute the instructions for those threads in the quad, then like it's just totally hardware dependent. Like, what is going to happen when you try to use finite differences with a thread that didn't execute the instruction in the first place? You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense to not be able to do it, but yeah, I'm team auto differentiation. There was a Twitter argument that I wasn't involved in, but I kind of started between like some rendering guys about automatic differentiation versus finite differences for MIPS and stuff, and like the finite differences really does let you save a lot of work, like in terms of actual ALU ops. So it makes sense to like build your architecture around it. And in the argument, they were talking about like Ray-Ace like architectures on the GPU, and micropolygons. And back in the day, Ray-Ace did do, or maybe still does, it's not screen space finite differences, but it's object space finite differences. And they do that rather than automatic differentiation. Lewis, feel free to correct me. Maybe they do AD these days. But it does amortize the cost a lot better. But yeah, it's just like the semantics are more fragile of it. Line 59. They don't like me indexing. So it needs to not be a sampler 2D. I have another project where So it's a texture 2D instead of oh, it needs to be a vector. That's what it is. Okay, yeah. Language level AD, but most engines just use finite diff. Yeah, that does make sense. Where'd my cube go? Am I just indexing the wrong place? Yeah, my pixels are still there, and they look pretty cool, to be honest. So it is successfully indexing the texture, I think. It's just at the wrong place. So this is ranging from 0 to the full size of the texture in pixels, which is what I'm supposed to be giving it for these indices. Okay, let me comment out the Gaussian and just index it directly. Let's see. Okay, what is PogChamps? Oh, okay. Cool. Have fun. Oh, I think I'm out into uninitialized memory land. I always love doing that in a shader. I don't even see the shadow mask anymore. This is a pretty cool matrix looking effect. I'm so confused because like it's getting the background color, so presumably it is indexing some part of the texture. Okay, so we got it working on a basic level at least. This is weird. Okay. That's actually not what I planned, but it looks cool. Like it just looks like an actual CRT borders. Okay, I'm now doing Reinhardt twice on the input and then on the output. And that actually looks kind of like how I'd want it to. Okay, Hubble wants to go on the stream, I think. Okay, I had to coax him out with food, but here he is. How you doing, bud? Okay, I'll do it, Lewis. I promise. Hey, buddy. You doing okay? Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, flip 3. I feel like that's actually changing the... Yeah, like it's doing something weird to the hue now. Yeah, it's like turning it red now. I don't know. What is this? NPM package? Okay, maybe I just shouldn't be doing it a second time. Okay, I'm not actually sure what to do here. Okay, Hubble wants to go on a walk, so I gotta wrap this up in a second. But yeah, not really sure why doing it twice is like changing the hue so much. Maybe I could just not do it the first time. Yeah, that works. That works fine. It's doing some weird stuff, but like, I guess that's to be expected if you don't have like a proper tone mapping setup. Why is it so purple? Yeah, if I turn off... Okay, my dog is getting set up.
Hubble? Nope. Nope.
Neighbors' dogs were barking. Alright, I'm probably gonna call this good for now. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, maybe I should only do it on the first one. That's probably correct. And then, I have to figure out some way not to clip, but okay.
Buddy, I'll take you out in 1 minute, okay? Okay, bud? Grumpy.
Okay, I guess it's time to wrap up the stream. Since this guy's impatient. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm pretty proud of what I got done. I think it's pretty much what I wanted to. Anyway, see you next week.